it's Glory and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something personal that happened in my life, but I'm okay with talking about it because obviously I wouldn't be here making a video about it, and I know this can definitely help people if they're really considering it. I am going to be talking about my nose job. It's going to be a year in July that I've had it done. If you want to see my before and after, this was before getting my nose job. My nose, honestly, I just really didn't like it because the fact when you look straight at me, it was really uneven. I didn't like the side. It was a little bone sticking out on the side, not drastic. I've also never really liked my nostrils, but my nostrils kind of like stood the same. The doctor did fix it a little bit, but not drastically, so you can kind of tell that one's still longer than the other. I don't want people to think that they need to change something about themselves, because I'll explain why I did it, the reason I did it, and all that stuff. Like, it was just my decision, but I just don't want people to get the wrong message from this video and think that if there's something you don't like about yourself, immediately go change it. I just want people to watch this, and if they like want to do something such as a surgery or something that they've been kind of thinking about it for a long time, do it for yourself and don't do it for anyone else, no matter what anyone else's opinions are. This video is just gonna be a bunch of questions that are commonly asked, just so you can get my own personal experience on it. And if you don't know much about me, my name is Gloriana. You can call me Glory. I'm 19 years old, and this is my YouTube channel, obviously. But you can definitely subscribe if you want to. The first thing I'm gonna start off with is, like I said, I got this done last year. It was right after my senior year of high school ended. I ended June 20th, and my surgery was July 5th. Or the 4th. Actually, it was like the 4th, and they called me for some reason. Like, my doctor was like on vacation and he wasn't like back, so then they called me like 3 days before my surgery and they said that they were gonna move it to another date, and I was just like but then they were like, oh, like, we'll give you a complimentary like non-surgical like item if you want to do, and I didn't do any of that. I was just like, it's alright, I'll just change my surgery date. I was like kind of like weird though. I got it done in New York, and it was like a surreal experience because I never thought I'd be able to get one at my age. I'm so grateful for it, and I'm so blessed to have it. Ever since I was young, like maybe like my middle school years, I've always disliked my nose. I always brought it up to my mom sometimes, like when we would like take a photo or something. She would look at the photos and she'd just like be like, you look so pretty and stuff, and I'd always like bring it up to her. I was like, I don't like my nose. I don't like my nose. I'd always bring it up to her. Throughout high school, I would always cover my nose if I started laughing. If I like started smiling when I was talking to someone, I would literally go like this. But one day my mom was just like, you really don't like your nose, and I just told her how I felt about it. We decided we would go talk to a doctor. She did her research. My mom was really supportive with this. I'm just so grateful for it. I'm not saying it to show off the fact I got a nose job. I'm just so grateful for the hard work they've done. He just told us the whole procedure throughout like the weeks. We'd meet up till I booked my date in July in New York. We got there, procedure happened. It was insane. I had this cast on for a week. I barely bruised. The doctor said it was crazy because I barely had any under eye bruising. I had no bruising whatsoever. I believe it was a closed surgery, so he didn't have to open me up, and it was just really uncomfortable having that cast on for a week. I would stay home. I didn't want to go out with the cast. The first 3 days were rough just because I had always like, it was always like coming, like discharge was coming out and all that, and it didn't really hurt. It was just really annoying going to sleep. I slept in my basement for a whole week because we had these chairs that like are like on an incline. I would lay down in that chair and sleep, and it was so uncomfortable. My neck hurt so much from sleeping in that position. I just had a ton of pillows, and I slept on an incline like this with my head up, my nose up, and I had to do that for like at least like 2 weeks. And then I moved to my bed and I did it with a ton of pillows stacked up, but I had to do that for a really long time. Was I scared? I wasn't really scared thinking about the fact that I was gonna get it done throughout the weeks, but the day of, it really hit me. What if I see it and I don't like it? Like, what if I can't go back to my old nose? I knew I was ready because I was ready for that change. I didn't really want my old nose, but I was just thinking like, what if something happens? Like, I just can't go back, you know? It's just crazy to think like the fact that like my old nose is gone and now this is my new face. So I was scared the day of. I remember crying, and it was my mom, my dad that went, my brother. They stood in the office. We drove to New York City together. It was like a half-hour drive maybe. I got out, surgery was done like about like 2 hours later, and the worst part of the whole procedure was waking up from the anesthesia. I started spazzing out. They had something like chained around my arm so I don't like end up like jumping and like freaking out like in the middle of the procedure. And they said it took a while to calm me down. So like 25 minutes later, they escort me, they put me in a wheelchair, and then I just remember just passing out. But it was really, really uncomfortable the first few hours. And then I just looked at myself and I was like, wow, I did it. Like, that's it. Now it's time for recovery. So that was my whole experience with the thing. Are there any scars? Yes, I do have one scar, and I think it's normal, honestly. There's a scar and it's right here on the, like, right on the outside of my nose, like right here. Like, it looks, you could see it. So I do have 2 scars. Did you choose how you wanted your nose to look like? And the answer is I did not. I went on Instagram and I saw a ton of people's noses that I liked. I didn't choose how I wanted my nose to look like. I told the doctor, do whatever you think is best for my face. So he ended up doing this. The only thing that I wish I could change, honestly, the doctor did a very good job. I would tell him to make it a little bit more just straight and not so curved. If you watched my old YouTube videos, you could tell my old nose looked a lot different than the one I have now. But I know that this nose shape fits my nose perfectly. I'm happy with the overall result. Were there any potential side effects from getting a rhinoplasty? The answer for me is I do believe I got some side effects from getting this nose surgery, but I do notice that I could feel pressure along here, and I don't know if it's normal because I still have to talk to my doctor, but I did go to an ears, nose, and throat doctor last week or 2 weeks ago because I had a sinus infection. They did some x-rays of my face, like my sinuses and everything, so my sinuses are fine. I think that it's still healing. It's gonna take, they said it's gonna take about a year to actually see the complete end result of your nose. So this might not even be my final result. I still do have about a year, so like 2 or 3 more months where I could see how my final end result is of my nose. And I've realized that I never used to get sinus infections. I've gotten at least 3 sinus infections in the past year, and that's a record for me. Or like if I cry a lot, like one nose just gets like, one nostril gets like really clogged. That sounds so disgusting. Or like when I'm sick and I can't breathe out of one nostril, it takes like a couple hours and then I could like finally breathe into it. How much money does it cost? And the answer is I honestly do not know. My parents were nice enough to do it for me, and they just didn't want me to get inside all the money aspect of everything. I'm really grateful for my parents because they did it all for me. I really don't know, I'm being honest with you. Were your family and friends supportive about you getting a nose job? Some were, and some honestly were not. My family was definitely supportive. My friends though, and other people who started finding out about it, more not so supportive. I didn't really tell a lot of people when I first found out I was gonna get the surgery. And as the date started getting closer, I told a couple of my friends and I said, hey, how would you think of me with a nose job? Some of them said like, you do you, if that's what you want to do, then go for it. But honestly, I don't think you should. A lot of people would say, I don't think you should, because once you get one surgery, you're gonna want a ton of other surgeries. And I completely disagree with that. The amount of people that said that to me, the close people that I was friends with, they said after a week or so, they finally got used to it and they forgot about my old nose. I did get my nose job when I was 18, and that sounds like a really young age. I talked to my doctor about it actually, and he said that it was okay. Having that cast on for a week, and then I remember going to the doctor, so excited to take it off. But when I got it off, I was about to cry. And my mom thought I was crying of happiness because, well, obviously I was so happy, but at that moment I was crying of sadness because this is my nose. And I didn't like it when they first took it off because it was so swollen and it was so different than obviously than how it was now. You know, it's a drastic part of your face, and if you're going into something like that, you should really understand how drastic the procedure or the outcome is going to turn out. So overall, my procedure was pretty smooth. If you have any other questions, please leave them down below. I probably left a lot out. Getting a new nose completely changed my facial features, and after now, it is so smooth. I like go like this all the time. It's still crazy to feel it. So I hope this video helped you, or if you enjoyed hearing my experience, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. I love you guys to infinity and beyond. Don't stop dreaming, and have a great day. Bye!
Start your computations.